Several bills are set to be introduced in Parliament, and these bills actually target the agricultural sector. So many farmers and human rights groups that advocate for farming and farming rights are not happy with these bills. One of this group is the Kilimo Haki, and today we are joining them just to understand what bills are these, how many they are, and the impact these bills will have on farmers.
Welcome, and to those who are following us from all over the world, good day from wherever you are. Several agricultural bills have emerged which are said to be aimed at advancing production and trade in different agricultural value chains. However, a closer scrutiny at some of these bills indicates what could be a plot to take away our indigenous food sovereignty, and their adverse impacts will far much outweigh the supposed benefits.
We have Agriculture and Food Authority Bill. We have Livestock Bill 2024 tabled by Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah. We have Man Being Bill, which is the Dengue Bill, that was sponsored by Honorable Enoch Kiyo Wambua and Honorable Paul Nzengu. We have Agriculture Professionals Registration and Licensing Bill 2024. That was tabled by Honorable Kanyuithia Mutunga. We have Nuts and Oil Crop Development Bill 2023 that was tabled by Senator Hamida Kibwana. We have Horticultural Crop Authority Bill that was tabled the other day by Honorable Sabina Chege. We have Land Amendment Bill that was tabled by Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah but was withdrawn because there was a lot of noise around the area of land. Then we have the Rice Bill that was presented in Parliament last week, and that was tabled by James Kamau Murango, Honorable Member of Parliament. And we also have the Water Amendment Bill 2024. That's a total of 9 bills in our Parliament touching on agriculture. The aforementioned bills are punitive in every sense of the word and are unconstitutional because they're taking away our rights as Kenyans. Some of these bills are actually criminalizing the act of agriculture itself.
With agriculture being the backbone of Kenya's economy and employing over 40% of the total population, farmers are not happy with this because they feel the impact might actually affect this number, and here is why.
Agriculture remains the backbone of our economy, contributing about 33% to our gross domestic product directly and about 27% indirectly. It is the economic lifeline of about 40% of our entire national population and still remains a lifeline of 70% of our rural population as Kenyans. About 70% of our families are said to be chronically vulnerable to issues such as food insecurity, poor nutrition, and preventable diseases.
The new bills are said actually to help regulate the agricultural sector, but the most thing that is very disgusting or actually could make you wonder why is that we have 15 agencies currently which are under the Ministry of Agriculture, and their role is actually to regulate, oversight, and do policy framework for the agricultural sector. But no, let's introduce new bills to do the work that is supposed to be done by the 15 agencies that are run by the same government.
We have Agriculture and Food Authority, AFA, Agriculture Finance Corporation, that is the AFC. We have Agriculture Development Corporation, ADC, Kenya Seed Company, that is KCS, Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, that is KEFIS. We have Kenya Agriculture and Livestock Research Organization, the one that we call CARO, Kenya Veterinary Vaccine Production Board, Kenya Veterinary Board, Kenya Meat Commission, Kenya Dairy Board, Kenya Leather and Development Council, Kenya Fisheries Services, Kenya Fish Marketing Authority, Kenya Marine and Fisheries Research Institute, National Irrigation Board of Kenya. Those are all the boards under the Ministry of Agriculture. If these state agencies have failed or not is another question altogether.
The people who will be affected most by these bills will actually be the small-scale farmers. One, because of the cost of production that will go up, and secondly, because most of them will either choose to stop doing agriculture or decide to go in a way that the products that they've been giving you, which are organic, will go in some other way. I don't know what that makes you feel, but as for me, that's a bit of a scare.
One of the most pressing issues currently is the high cost of production. We have to put input of seeds, fertilizer, pesticides, and the cost is rising dramatically. We will have reduced output and crop diversity. Faced with financial pressure, farmers will opt for cheaper and less diverse crops, forsaking sustainable practices. This will not only diminish the quality of produce, but also reduce the biodiversity of our agricultural landscapes, leaving them vulnerable to market fluctuation and climate-related challenges. We need bills that support and subsidize income costs. We need bills that enhance access to credit for our small-scale holder farmers. We need bills that promote collective marketing of their produce. We need bills that facilitate training and education of these producers. And lastly, we definitely need to streamline the regulation. Every day coming up with bills is not sustainable for our economy, for our farmers, and for everyone who observes to having a plate of food every day.
Article number 11 talks about culture, and it says this constitution recognizes culture as the foundation of the nation and as the cumulative civilization of the Kenya people. Then we now enter into sub 2, the state shall. And when we say state shall, it is mandatory. It is not optional. The state shall recognize the role of science, indigenous technologies in the development of the nation. Science and indigenous technologies. It also states that the state shall promote intellectual property rights of the people of Kenya. Article number 11, sub 2. These bills that are being passed, we have done a thorough analysis of the same, and they have broken more than 50 different articles of the Constitution. How do you have more than 50 articles of the Constitution breached in new passing legislation? So Parliament is busy passing legislations that they were not supposed to, but the legislation that they were supposed to, they are not busy passing. And it says this, and I shall repeat. Parliament shall enact legislation that recognizes and protects the ownership of indigenous seeds. I want us to repeat that. Parliament shall enact legislation that recognizes and protects the ownership of indigenous seeds, plant varieties, and their genetic and diverse characteristics, and their use by communities in Kenya.
The key question most farmers and people in the sector keep asking is, who is behind these bills? Is it Sabina Chege because she had one of the bills? Is it Enoch Wambua? Is it Kimani Ichung'wah? Is it actually our parliamentarians who are behind this? Or is there a hidden hand that we cannot see, but it's operating from behind? Because remember when finance bill was in parliament, it was being discussed. Remember who was in parliament that day? Yeah, we had people from the US in parliament, and the speaker said they were just following up on what was being done. So actually most of the farmers in the sector feel that there might be a hand, an unseen hand, that is pushing for these bills. For what reason? Maybe to push for GMO. I don't know. I cannot certify that.
The CS, Mr. Andrew Muhia Karanja, on Monday last week indicated clearly that these bills are foreign. They come from a private entity, and they do not know who passed the bills. We have scrutinized the bills and have noticed that they even left the people who are assisting them, who is IMF, who is World Bank, who are coming here to legislate. These bills were not taken through public participation, and they have multiple breaches of the Constitution. The people who are passing these bills, the Sabina Cheges, the Kimani Ichung'wahs, and all these other people. Under Section 16, we shall sue Parliament, we shall sue Senate, we shall sue the ministry, and most importantly, we shall sue the specific individuals. Go read Section 16, Sub 10 of the Consumer Protection Act. On Friday, 4th of October, we are going to be marching to the Ministry of Agriculture, we are going to be marching to Parliament, we are going to be marching to the Senate. And what we are going to be delivering to them is a petition to remove all of these bills that have been made. We cannot have a situation whereby we are not going as a country to enjoy dengu chapati. It is wrong. If you ask a farmer for a license for 60,000 so that he can grow sukuma wiki, is he going to grow sukuma wiki or is he going to spend 60,000? The obvious answer is not, he's not going to grow sukuma wiki. In comes the big conglomerates. In comes Monsanto. In comes Bill Gates. In comes Syngenta. In comes Bayer. We know you by your specific names. And we'll tell you the chemicals that you sell to us, the herbicides that are killing our farmers. And for example, one very notorious herbicide called Roundup. We are also going to sue you specifically for misleading and putting our farmers in danger and causing our society cancer, including our children.
You could be there wondering why farmers or people in the agricultural sector are resisting these new bills. One is because of education. These bills will require you to have a degree or diploma in something to do with agriculture. But do you know what this means for the population of Kenya that has not gone to school? Or people who dropped out in primary school, in high school, who may not afford to go for a diploma or a degree? What happens to our grandparents who never went to school and they're the biggest small-scale farmers in this country? Think about that.
You will need at least a diploma to practice agriculture. Minimum. You need a degree to practice agriculture. So what we have done, what we've been doing since time immemorial, our grandmothers, our grandfathers who are illiterate, to just plant their beans, they'll need to go back to college. If you're caught practicing agriculture without the requirements, you go to jail. There's a minimum jail term of 2 years, and there's a bail of minimum $500,000. Isn't that criminalizing agriculture? Including criminalizing the use of manure. They do not want us to use our natural manure on our farms. In the current administration, they lifted the ban on GMO with no public participation, with no due process according to our constitution. Immediately the ban was lifted on GMO, a floodgate of agriculture bills have come. So what we read as farmers and as people interested in agriculture, there is an intent to take over food production and control food production in this country. All the factors of production, seeds, land, even water. I've even mentioned a water bill. So they are taking over all our factors of production because they want to take over food production, hence take over our food sovereignty.
Did you know that actually sharing of seeds by farmers is criminal in this country? Like if I have maize seeds or beans or whatever, rosecoco, or whatever sort of beans that I have, that you know I cannot share that with you because it is criminal. Yeah, you see these bills that are being raised, it's coming to cement that more.
So right now, as you're speaking in Kenya, sharing seeds even amongst farmers is a criminal offense. It's actually an act of parliament. So when you criminalize sharing of seeds amongst farmers, then you bring a whole other layer of bills on controlling agriculture, controlling production. And then you legalize GMO. You know, you can put the dots together and see where this is headed to. The problem starts with the policymakers in the Ministry of Agriculture.
The entire objective is to make us subjugated to Western forces and that we cannot grow and self-sustain ourselves. It is intentional. It is calculated. Nothing is happening in a vacuum.
Does it concern you that so many bills, 10 bills for the agricultural sector are coming to Parliament almost at the same time? Have you questioned yourself why? Do you remember that cotton farming is actually legal for GMOs in Kenya? Like GMO cotton farming is legal. Maize, I think the maize could be soon be legal to do a GMO farming for maize. Do you know why these many bills are coming now? Think and think deeper, read and read wider, and share what you think with us in the comment section. Now, just before we went live with this story, we're told that the lawyer, Joseph Mwai, who's been speaking here with Kilimo Haki, has been arrested in CBD. So I saw this on Twitter, and this is what it says. Wakili Joseph Mwai has been arrested in CBD after delivering an address on the agricultural bill and the call for dissolution of parliament. So again, if indeed these bills are meant for the good of farmers and the agricultural sector, why would we arrest people because they raised an issue or they are concerned, and the Constitution guarantees the freedom of speech and sharing of information? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. So I hope we will have lawyer Mwai freed, and yeah, people on Twitter actually pushing for free Wakili Joseph Mwai.